Let's get into episode 5. Again, we don't know this episode title yet, but it is season 2, episode 5. And I love this story being set up as if there wasn't enough spinning plates in the air. But we learn that Davos Skulden, who is the father, let me try to get this, the father of Mon Mothma's daughter's child husband. Yep.
Andor, right there. Andor.
He's found a forgery amongst his art pieces, and should he get his pieces reappraised, he will learn that Luthen put a listening device on one of them. Now, if there wasn't enough stress inducement in this show, here you get another thing to deal with. Clea is freaked out, and I thought this was a great Clea episode, this and the next one. What do you think about her and Luthen's relationship? It's so odd. Do you think they're together romantically? Do you think this is just a dyed-in-the-wool hard-ass for the rebellion? I feel like sometimes she's more gung-ho than even Luthen is, if that's even possible.
I really like her. I think it's a great performance. This show has so many good female characters. Like, there's a lot of awesome women in this show, and, like, they're actually given, like, time and depth and, like, multiple personality traits. And, like, I just think it's awesome. I think there's great balance to the show in every way. I think that's another facet of it. But she's really cool. I think her relationship with Luthen, I don't know. If nothing's ever happened there, maybe...
Do they live in that apartment together? I mean, in the back of the shop?
Yeah. They might just keep it low-key. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. She looks at that toupee or that hairdo he's got, and I wouldn't blame her, you know? He brings out those pearly whites, and I get it.
All right, well, Luthen's always complicating things. Let's talk about him and Bix. So, great little moment that I totally understood where Bix was coming from. When Luthen shows up at the door, and she just goes, "Oh my God." And he's like, "No, not that." As in, like, Andor is not dead. You always think about, when's that not coming? If you love a spy, if you're... Not that I love a spy. You know what I mean? Like, we watch enough of these things to know.
Would you tell us if you did?
I mean, maybe this is exactly how I would play this out.
A great front.
Yeah, Dan, what were you reading in this scene? Because, you know, clearly something was nagging at you within it, but... Was Luthen being fair with how he was treating Bix, or was he just being a puppet master like usual?
I think the thing with Luthen is I think he's just a permanent puppet master. Like, I don't think Luthen really has, not that he's like a sociopath, but like very close to that. I think he's so deep into this, kind of like how he laid out with his monologue in season 1. Like, he is so consumed with like anger and hatred, and he's just so deep into this that I think he basically sees everyone as like a pawn, something to control and like a means to an end, and he'll keep doing that until he dies. Like, this is his existence. I think he just kind of views everyone in the same way, and I think this is the scene I was talking about where he gives her the like drug she's using. Right. Like, that in and of itself is strange.
Fucked up, shady as hell.
Yeah. But again, I feel like that's who he is. I mean, he's someone that spent a lot of the first season planning to kill Andor. Like, it's he's so just nonchalant and like just cold. I feel like that's still conveyed here.
Isn't that amazing that Stellan Skarsgård is the performer because of what we connote with him and just like loving the warmth that guy emanates as an actor? I just think that's a brilliant stroke of casting. I want to talk about this in the next episode, but we can talk about now, which is that Luthen nominally is the hero of the show. If on paper you're thinking, who's leading the rebellion? But he is actually doing some of the most villainous shit in Andor, if not the most. Now, how do you square that or think about it? I'm asking myself this. I don't even know, because I just think that's one of the most beautiful, complicating factors of this series, is how Luthen could be the villain of the series while being the hero at the same time.
I think we all kind of have this view of war where, like, there's the good guys, there's the bad guys, things are done in a particular way, our heroes take care of each other and respect each other. And we got into this a little bit with warfare, right? Like, that's not what war is. Like, that's what Civil War was about. That's not what war is. And, like, I just think most of us hopefully, don't and hopefully never will have that understanding. But I think, like, once you're actually in that situation, and you see it with the way he talks about Gorman as well. Like, he basically says, if they get massacred, that's a good spark for the rebellion. He doesn't have the processing of human life in the same way that the Empire doesn't. They just have different goals. And his goal is, and this is the question of, like, do the ends justify the means? Everyone has a different philosophical stance towards that. This show doesn't spoon feed you how to feel about him.
Who knows if the guy can ever even actually be happy? Like, if the rebellion works, is he kicking back on the beach with a beer? Like, Is that what Luthen's after? That nothing could maybe fill him ever.
There would be something else. Yeah, there would be something else.
He just feels like a guy that like is a psychopath and sociopath and like
I think so.
is able to like pour himself into what he deems is good, you know? And he's like, if he wasn't doing this, like Dan just said, like he might be doing it for the Empire and just like fucking taking over the goddamn universe. He's a weirdo. I think he's kind of evil, but he's like our evil guy. There's no heroes and villains in real life. Like you're going to have a guy that does some bad shit and you're going to be happy he does the bad shit because he's willing to do it and sacrifice his soul if you back what that person believes in, right? And so, I don't know. I love the questions that it's asking because it's deep shit.
Watching Luthen's almost kind of like watching a character like Dexter, another sociopath who convinces himself he's doing the right thing and oftentimes does not. Mm-hmm. And innocent people do get hurt, and a lot of it is because of him. But he always has the vision in his head of, oh, I'm doing the right thing. These are my goals, blah, blah, blah. But like, you get to a point where, with Dexter, you get to a point where you can't cheer for him. But I think it's the same type of thing, and I think it makes for really interesting television when it's paced out well.
Let's talk about the most pleasurable, for me, part of these 3 episodes, which is Andor cosplaying as Varian Sky, a fashion designer on his way to Gorman to pick up some textiles. Now, was it just so satisfying or what to see Diego Luna in James Bond mode with the hair slicked back, wearing the Gorman tunic? I just loved all of this, but there was serious pathos within it too. And I'm talking about that hotel scene, such a small but impressive scene to me, where Andor is playing a character. When he looks upon the square and he sees the memorial, he gets the bellhop talking about it. Now, we don't see the bellhop again. Could he be a rebel? Maybe. Could he be something more? Maybe. Maybe he's just a bellhop. But the way Andor, as Varian Sky, gets him to slowly come over and share what he's feeling as a Gorman and how he feels about the Empire. Now, this is something, Dan, like you said, like Andor wouldn't have cared about this at the start of last season at all. And for him to take the time to kind of potentially compromise his mission by opening up this line of questioning, it was just incredibly humanizing for me to see Cassian Andor do that. And I just love this moment for the character. He's doing a character right, and this moment breaks him out of his character to show a side of himself that you haven't even seen from the real Cassian Andor much. So like that extra layer I think is really interesting. I think this show does a good job of like finding little moments to show the importance of rebellion and to show the importance of getting involved in this fight. And it's in the personal stories of people from all over the galaxy, right? And it's the little stories, and those are the things that stick with people and will inspire them to fight, right? Like it's those abuses, it's those like crimes against humanity that stick with you generationally, and I think will inspire revolution in the show and in real life too.
Yeah, I just love like this whole like arc he's on, you know, because we love season 1 Cassian where he's the badass, he's, you know, learning to find himself. We all love a, you know, coming of age story, if you could even call it that. It's maybe a little darker coming of age story, but in this, like, you're seeing like how much better at this shit he's gotten, and he's just improving, and he's so comfortable in his craft, and he's a little bit more playful and whimsical, and he's just trying shit. It's like a sick basketball player hits like the flow state, and they're just out there just trying shit. Like he hit that statement to see if he could get something out of the bellhop, and he just walks to the window and he's waiting. He's just like,
smile.
He's like, is he gonna come over here? And then he does. He's like, nice, I fucking got him. So he's just
love
like
that moment.
He's just like out there trying shit, and I think it's so interesting. And he's
talk
getting
about
cocky.
The flow state, the master spy in the coffee shop. Maybe my favorite Cassian Andor moment ever, which is this speech and monologue he gives to the daughter of the Gorman Front's leader. Now, she's impatient, like we mentioned. The Gormans have a lot at stake. They have a sense of urgency. He slows her down in this gorgeous Viennese Gorman coffee shop, which, by the way, just the production design of that was epic. And he says, maybe I'm ISB. Maybe I'm a snitch. He tells her, people die rushing. And she like shuts the fuck up and says, okay, I should have slowed my roll a little bit here. For him to put her down while also teaching her something, while also standing for the right thing, and then coming back to the Varian Sky character and just proclaiming, I can't wait to meet your dad. I just love this moment.
It's very Luthen, isn't it? It's very much like how
You're
Luthen
so
handles
right.
things. He's just like, he'll make you feel like shit, and then he'll uplift you. He'll make you feel like shit again, and then he'll put his face on and say, thanks for coming by the shop, and like kick you out the door, you know? So that's kind of what I got from it, is he's like becoming Luthen a little bit.
It's a great call.
And it's funny. It's kind of another moment of the same thing that we saw with the bellhop of him breaking character to show emotion, but this time it's anger rather than empathy or sadness. I think it's kind of funny seeing that in conjunction with the other moment. And also just seeing him teach and share some of his knowledge of how this has to go. And again, you see how tenuous it is and how much stress is on all these people. But the Gorman people, they're very kind of nonchalant at times, and it
very
obviously
French
becomes catastrophic.
It's actually, of all people, Edie, Cyril's mother, who literalizes the spider metaphor when he passes her that spider at the kitchen table when Cyril's back on Coruscant. And it was at this point when we think about Cyril and how he is being deliberately seduced by the Gorman Front to come into their world, to then share those secrets with the Empire and ISB, for ISB then to give, like you said, Dan, an inch so that they can take a mile later on. And I'm just thinking the deceptions within deceptions, this is when my head was spinning most in the best kind of way.
Why do they think that he wouldn't betray them?
Why does the Gorman Front think that Cyril wouldn't?
Yes.
I just think they're operating from a place of desperation, and they think they've got a foothold with someone with some authority. He works for the bureaucratic company I don't even know that processes those logs from the ships. When he gives them proper information, I think that they are kind of blinded by their need for help, that they're going to take this and not see the next layer of deception. But Sean, what do you think?
I think it's their excitement, right? They show that the second that, and he's baiting them, and I didn't think he was, right? I don't think any of us really thought he was when he's talking to his mother, and they're listening in, and he knows that they are, and he basically coerces them to make contact with him, because he's just he knows that if someone in this office is being bugged, that they desperately want to make a change and something radical. And of course, they're going to buy into the first thing that they hear that's different maybe from other officials who've been sitting at that same desk. So that's kind of what I got from it.
Right. And in the ISB rooms and halls, I mean, more sinister than a red lightsaber to me is them saying that the Gormans need to know what winning feels like the level of deception they're willing to go. And the dramatic irony of us watching it, knowing that the Gormans are going to walk into this trap so willingly, upset me so much, That's just such good writing that when it can worm under your skin like that. And basically the Empire is going to eat Gorman from the inside out, which was Dedra's plan that she mentioned in that boardroom in the first episode of the season. Thrilling stuff. But the episode ends back in Dakar with this, I wouldn't call it a love triangle, but we got Saw Gerrera leading his rebels. We have Will teaching Saw's worker Pluty how to deal with the bomb, the chemical, whatever. Did you guys know Pluty was a traitor? I think I definitely felt the vibes.
Do we think he is?
I do. You think Saw just shot him point blank?
He's just crazy as hell.
I mean, yes. He's about that life.
So I'm not even kidding. That's kind of the vibe I got. I could be way off, but I think that guy...
Didn't he pull something off of Pluty?
Yeah, but it kind of looked like he placed it. It was just you're just pulling off a transmitter right off of his chest?
Finding a little baggie
that's exactly that's what I got from it. Maybe I got to go rewatch again, but...
And do you think it's as simple as he wanted to keep Will because Will knows how to do it and Pluty didn't?
Exactly, because he knows that he's got Will. He was never going to give him back to Luthen. He knows he's Luthen's and he hates Luthen. And then he's trying to get his guy desperately to be I know all 8 of these or whatever secret variations. Yeah. And once he's tempers. He was like, just tell me where we're going once and we'll be good. I think there's a chance where he was just I need to get this guy out because I can't take both. Maybe I'm off, but that's kind of where I went with it.
Okay. I thought he was a traitor and Saw sniffed it out and shot him in the head. But
entirely possible.
I like that take.
I don't know that Saw would really care either way either.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably the right take. That's the right take.
Episode ends with Saw and Will. Just a little pep talk. Just a Rhydonium huffing, drugged up pep talk, which I thought that was maybe an Imperial pipeline that they were about to blow up, but I wasn't sure what I was seeing in that last moment.
I don't think we're supposed to see.
In the setup that what you just said I think is spot on. They laid that out, and then he says he was a spy. They know we're coming. We're leaving. And then the next scene is them at the pipeline.
Yeah,
I'm kind of confused.
We kind of need to make a logical jump in our own heads, and I
But it was a
certainly
different
wasn't.
pipeline?
Yeah, I figured they just deceived the Empire, went somewhere else.
Did you guys notice? I thought it was a person wearing a Wampa skin. Did you guys see that?
It's an alien.
It's a big
That was an
Yeti
alien?
something.
Yeah, I forget
Okay,
what
dude, I thought it was a guy wearing like a Wampa skin. I was like, that's sick.
like it's a bear skin or something.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Actually, it's definitely an alien. I forget what the
Okay, got
what
you.
yeah.
Let's talk about
I like that
though.
though. I like that.
Before we get into the next episode, Saw's pep talk and Forrest Whitaker's delivery of this. I mean, it's a scary fucking speech. That is not for the faint of heart. And Saw says it himself. Revolution is not for the sane. I was ready to run through a brick wall for this guy. I don't know about y'all.
Saul just yaps, bro. He's just like a big yapper about just like sacrifice and doing the hard thing and stuff.
But he does it. I mean,
he does it.
Yeah, he walks the talk.
I agree, and it's Forrest Whitaker, so he crushes it. It was a
Do you
great.
guys, does the voice ever, are you ever like, I don't know.
Are you?
Like occasionally, he'll say something and I'm just like, okay, this show is very serious. This is like he's really pushing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I love Forrest Whitaker and I like the character, but it's like very much on that line of, I don't know. I want to see what you guys thought.
I think on set where you don't have the music and you don't have the lights and you don't have the water, like the rain flashing, it must be really silly. But when it's put all together, I don't know. I was pumped up. Because also as a counterpoint to Luthen, whose style of rebellion is just so different than this, I like Saw being boots on the ground kind of action forward protagonist, I guess.
Isn't it crazy that he makes Luthen look sane? Like that's how crazy Saw is. Like he's just like we're like, yeah, Luthen is actually the good guy when we just got done saying how much of a sociopath Luthen is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luthen's like Saul, like medicated, but
this is like having Draymond Green on your team and knowing that you gotta wrangle the crazy a bit, but you're gonna get results.
But Luthen's KD
or Steph, I don't know. Mon Mothma's Steph. I thought this was even better than the last episode. I would give this an A-, but again, it's silly to talk like this because they just built. But I like this.
One other thing I want to say really quick. The opening was so cool because they had the theme song coming through the radio and like cutting in and out. I love that. Like the music, I think music for this show is awesome, but it was like a radio tuning and you're like hearing
on the dials.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
I saw a great tweet from someone that was like, Andor's great because not because of all the fighting and the mystery and stuff, it's because they know that Star Wars rocks with the dials and knobs and levers, and like they really turn that shit up in these 3 episodes with Clea. Like, hell yeah, she's working the tables over there, dude. Like,
and then I don't know which episode it's in, but Bix is watching TV and it's this really soapy, that is gonna janky get talk show.
That's going to get clipped to shit, and that side of Twitter that I'm trying to block 100% of.
It was very like Hunger Games. Like
I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I thought it fit. I thought it was cool, but I can guarantee you that they're going to be like, look what this dumb show did. They brought,
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great.